What up, what up, what up? What it is, what it do. You know who it is. Who are you? Back again with the 22 twos. We here for another quick hitter. It is a lot to cover. We got a lot going on. Great weekend in sports, great weekend in culture. Mm-hmm. And we are here to be those voices, give you our take. And some of us got hotter takes than others.
Blaming.
We're going to go ahead and try to tell y'all a little bit of knowledge here. Yeah. We got, of course, the whole crew, as usual. We got your boy, Mr. Clark Kent. Got his Superman outfit on today, though. Look, got his game face on, too.
Captain Saber podcast over here.
Got his game face on, too. You got Mr.
I like that hat.
Hat
is fire.
I appreciate it. You know, got my Trump hat on, Bob Hope hat.
Bob Hope.
And of course, the man that keeps us all together, keeps us on track when we get off track, Mr. Too Smooth.
The engine that could. The big engine that could.
So go ahead, fella. No diddy.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
jump right into it.
Let's get right to it. But before we get started, shout out to the WNBA. Big moment tonight. WNBA draft. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Bam. It was actually at Bam, brother.
It was at Bam? Really?
It was at Bam.
I thought that really, right down the street.
Really
right
nice.
down the street.
Right down the street. I took a walk over there. The line to get in was 2 blocks long, dude. Like, amazing show out. Couple highlights, of course. Caitlin Clark goes first to the Indiana Fever.
She have on.
She had on the girls had on some nice fit. Y'all should go check out Angel Reese's fit.
Angel Reese's fit,
crazy, and an unprecedented move. Chicago Sky, they go with Camila Cardozo and Angel Reese. So that Twin Tower is gonna be special. Gonna be special next season. But fellas, starting Friday, there were no games Saturday, and then concluded on Sunday. The NBA, every single NBA team played on Friday and on Sunday. We've never seen a situation like this where so much was at stake leading until the last day of the regular season. I think Adam Silver got it right. Of course, the inaugural inception of the play-in tournament happening during the COVID year, and we kept that same routine. It has kept a lot of teams intrigued. As we saw last year, the Lakers made a run from the play-in all the way to the conference finals. So, you have a lot of teams out there that have been dealing with injuries, so on and so forth, players in and out of the lineup. And they feel like, hey, just get us into somewhere between 7 and 10, and we could try to make a run at this thing. Our hometown team, New York Knicks, snagged that number 2 seed. We might be going up against one of those teams in the Philadelphia Sixers who lost Joel Embiid for a significant amount of time during the regular season. Looks to come back fresh and healthy, although we saw him walk off the floor twice on Friday. He did not play in the season-ending game against Brooklyn on Sunday. Tons of matchups. We will get to our New York Knicks and talk about them a little bit more in depth. But let's start with where the NBA is going to start off with the play-in games, right? We got Philly going up against Miami. I mentioned a while ago the Knicks might play Philly, but we are assuming Philly's going to beat Miami. Like, Miami's not going to be a pushover. Jimmy Butler revenge game. He loves going up against Philly, after his tenure there. And then we have Chicago and Atlanta in the 9-10 spot in the East. And out West, we just saw the Lakers blow out the New Orleans Pelicans, no Diddy. On Sunday, LeBron had 17 assists in that.
Triple-double.
Triple-double, 17 assists in that game. And then in the 9-10 matchup out West, we have Kings-Warriors, who Kings have been like the little brother. No Herter, no Malik Monk. Warriors have been hot lately. They finished the season really strong. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson looks to have found his groove back. That team, there is a path for them. If there was ever a path, they can beat Sacramento. If the Lakers beat the Pelicans and then the Warriors go on to beat the Pelicans, then they play OKC. You can't tell me OKC thinks they're going to sweep or come close to just dominating that matchup, because that might also be a big brother, little brother scenario. But Sean, let's kick it off with you. what play-in matchup are you most excited to see? And just give us quick predictions of who you think are going to fill those 7-8 spots in the East and West.
I would like to defer because we always start off with me.
Okay,
okay. Pass it off to my man Darnell.
Oh wow! Okay,
let him cook.
It's like the Woody meme. Let him cook. Well, you know what? I think. Yeah, sorry about that. But I think right now, I guess this is maybe like an East Coast bias. You know, I do want to see that Philadelphia and Miami matchup because I said that holds so much for the Knicks. I think other than that, of course, you know, you want to see LeBron, and let's see if the Lakers can indeed, you know, get back to that spot again and repeat this run of probably getting LeBron a championship. You know, but like I said, I'll have to hold on and say definitely the Miami versus the Philadelphia matchup is something I'm looking forward to in the East. So as a Knicks fan, you know, I have my little bias, but I think that's something everybody wants to see as well. See how Joel's playing. You know, I said like 5 percentage points. I think the Sixers starting lineup was probably the most efficient, you know, in the league once they have them all together and been playing. So let's see what that does against this Miami defense, what Eric Spoelstra could put together, knowing that his team is not the same team as last year. And it's kind of odd. Miami's been hanging around in that play-in situation. That's 2 years back-to-back. So, you know, they have the dexterity and what they need to, you know, push the Sixers. But I think the Sixers will overall come out on top of that matchup. So that's me starting off. If I had to.
Okay, quick follow-up. You think the Sixers are going to come out of that matchup. Do you prefer to see the Sixers as a Knicks fan? Is that going to be the easier matchup, or would you prefer to see a Miami team who hasn't really put it together all year long?
And this is one of those things you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Joel Embiid is probably he's one of the best players in the NBA, hands down. You know, rumors were a few years ago the Knicks were going to try to pursue him. I think everybody would love to have a Joel Embiid on their team. I think Miami, I would like to play them just for the revenge factor because like Miami really bullied us and I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? That was like a real humbling moment for the Knicks. But we got to take it whoever right now it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I say one, the other one is going to be a tough matchup for us. It's just a matter of like, hey, Tibbs has been playing these guys hard the whole year. So like, how will we eventually respond to this team that's probably coming off of like a tough matchup? You know, that first game. I wouldn't be surprised if that game goes overtime. That playing game, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Maneuvers. I'll give you the Sixers, Heat, Bulls, Hawks. Lakers, Pelicans, Kings, Warriors. Which one of the play-in teams have the best chance of making a finals run?
I think it's definitely the Sixers. If I had to bet a sum of money that mattered to me, I will put it on the Sixers. I think the play-in itself is really interesting, just because. The way the seating fell, it creates so many possibilities because Miami almost has to win against the Sixers. Right. Otherwise, you know, having that second game, I don't think it does them any good because my money is they'll play the Bulls. I think the Bulls will beat the Hawks. I think even though Trey is coming back, I think the Bulls will beat the Hawks. And I think the Bulls are a tough matchup for the Heat because defensively, you know, they play well defensively. I think I've been on record with you guys that I think, you know, DeMar DeRozan doesn't get the credit that he deserves. So I think that makes it difficult. So for me, it feels like the Heat have to beat the Sixers. Otherwise, I think their playoff run could possibly be over if they see the Bulls. On the West Coast, you know, I think you know it's interesting as well over there because you know the Lakers, they blew out the Pelicans, so we're assuming that they're gonna beat them, and then what awaits them is whatever who most of the pundits are saying is the team to beat in the Denver Nuggets. But much like the Knicks, I think the Lakers, there was a benefit there. I think you catch them early before you go through a round or two. I think they're puncher's chance. You got a puncher's chance. But of the play-ins, I think the Sixers have the best, are in the best position to make a run. Yeah. They might also want to lose because they might want to go ahead and play Boston first round and get them out of there. So, but yeah, it's a lot to look forward to. It's looking like, it's playing makes it very interesting.
Sidebar is funny. Like, everybody's just talking about Boston. They've been looking really suspect. I've been hearing that a lot recently. I don't know what it is.
Because Boston,
they had everything locked up. They had
but
it's kind of hard.
But the thing, and here's the thing about Boston, right? I think it kind of flies under the radar. Is that Boston as for their record for the season, like it's been good, but like seriously, like against teams that are under 500, like they're like 32-3. I think but teams that are over 500, they're like 66%. So when they face a challenge, like they're not as good as their record says they are.
Yeah, they can get got, but So Sean, you're not quite as a gambling man as I am, but you and I have put together the occasional parlay. Yeah, if I gave you Boston coming out of the East and Denver coming out of the West versus the field,
I like it.
Who would you roll with?
You repeat the question again.
If I gave you Boston coming out of the East and Denver coming out of the West, are you rolling with those two chalk options, or are you rolling with the field?
I'm rolling with the field because the way the West is constructed right now and the East, how everybody's matched up. Boston can be, like, to you guys' point, Boston can be got at any time. Catch them at the right opportunity, and they're. Imagine a team that won 64 games and were questioning their focus and commitment on the court to not only when their 3-point shot isn't falling, they become a completely different basketball team.
It's weird.
The one and only constant that I can say on the other side of that is Denver. Denver has Jokic, and Jokic will not allow these guys to lose because he makes everybody around him better on that basketball team, from the perimeter to the back cuts. Even Aaron Gordon, who is a limited offensive player from the perimeter, gets the ball in positions where he's able to succeed. I mean, the only thing that I think can stand in Denver's way is an upstart Phoenix team. If Phoenix can catch fire, because we saw with what Bradley Beal, shout out to Donnell, what Bradley Beal did the other day, dropped damn near 40.
First time in like 10 years.
In a game that they needed to have, but this is when you need to be playing your best basketball.